Okay, hi everyone. Today we're going to be covering the questions from Batu Pahat. Okay, Batu Pahat paper 1 and paper 2, but we're specifically covering the HOTS questions. Okay, so we're going to start with paper 2 and I'm going to share screen with you. Okay, we're going to start with paper 2 question. Okay, sorry. Okay, if you cannot see this, let me know. Okay, so usually when we start with paper 2, right? Okay, when we start with paper 2, we always look for the simultaneous equation question. Okay, because usually, simultaneous equation kan dia punya soalan agak standard lah. Kamu bentuk dua persamaan, then you do. Okay, but you see and the simultaneous equation, usually dia akan keluar dalam paper 2 section A. Okay, so section A is where the simultaneous equations question always come in lah. Okay, this is section A. And we find that question 1 is this very strange question. Okay, then question 2 is function. Question 3, this looks like coordinate geometry. Okay, question 4, this looks like log. Okay, because you see that a log this and log that, right? Okay, question 5 is a circular measure. Okay, and then question 6 is differentiation. So you're like, where is the simultaneous equations question in this question? Macam tiada bahkan. You're expecting a simultaneous equation question because simultaneous equation only comes out in paper 2 and usually it comes out in section A. I have never seen a simultaneous equation question come out in section B or C. Definitely not C lah, okay? So, we are expecting, kita mengharapkan soalan simultaneous equation kan, tapi macam tiada. Okay, so we take a look. This question shows A and B and then increases by 2 meters per second for every second. Like macam mana mau bentuk persamaan. So this probably is not a simultaneous equations question. Okay, question number 2 is obvious lah. This is a function, tak payah fikir. Okay, function bukan this one. This is coordinate geometry. Okay, because dia suruh kira equation of tangent AB. So not simultaneous equation. This is a log index question. Okay, this is circular measure, yada yada. But actually, if we take a look at it, okay, how I know that question 4 is a simultaneous equations question because of this. Okay, because of this, find the value of x and y. Usually, in a log question atau soalan index lah, they will only ask you to find the value of x or find the value of y. Okay, kalau dia betul-betul log question lah. Okay, and actually, this is the question that is simultaneous equations. It's pretty amazing lah actually if you think about it. Okay, sebab dia macam apa ni macam log, tapi sebenarnya dia adalah simultaneous equations. Now in simultaneous equations, of course you have to build 2 equations. You have to start from there. Okay, so how do you build 2 equations is we have to use the log law. Okay, the laws of logarithms and the laws of indices. So let's try to do this lah. Okay, so you have log x, okay, y plus 3 over 4 equals to 2. Now, if you want to form an equation, you definitely cannot have the log. So what you do is you change this to become index form. So this will be y plus 3, okay, over 4 equals to x to the power of 2, x squared. Okay, change log form into index form. Macam mana mau tukar from log form to index form is something that you should know. Okay, I'm just going to do this one. So let's say this is a equals to m to the power of x. So if I change to log form, okay, all I have to do is log m a equals to x. So there, it can change from one way or another. Now the reason why I do this is I want to get rid of the log. Okay, so once I get rid of the log, I can form an equation. Y plus 3 equals to 4x squared. So this is the first equation. Okay, then we come to this second equation. 2x over 4 equals to 32 over 2 to the power of y. Logically, the only thing that we can do actually is to logically, the only thing that we can do actually is to cross multiply lah. Kita darab silang. So you get 2x times 2y equals to 32 times 4. Okay, 32 times 4 will give us 128. Okay, equals to 2. And this one, according to law of indices, ini darab kan? So the indices akan jadi tambah 2x plus y equals to 128. Now you cannot do much over here yet, but we know that we can change 128 to become 2 to the power of something. Okay, if you are familiar with indices, okay, if you're familiar with indices, then you know that you can change the 128 to become, I think it's 2 to the power of 7. Yeah, 2 to the power of 7. So 2x plus y equals to 2 to the power of 7. Because the base is the same, so now you can equate the result. So x plus y equals to 7. And this is the second equation. Now, if you take a look at the two equations that we just built, oh, sorry. Okay, if you take a look at the two equations that we just built, this is very simple equation. They are not very complicated. Okay, you substitute the x in here, and then you get y, and then you get y, and then you get x. Okay, actually you only get one value of each. So I'm not going to answer to the finish. Okay, saya tidak akan jawab sampai habis. But I want to show you how we actually do this question. If you take a look, as I said, if you take a look at the two equations like nothing. It's not complicated. Okay, it's very simple equation. It's cuma yang susahnya adalah macam mana mau bentuk itu equation. That's the tough part. Okay, so give this question a try, and if you want the answers, of course, you can always ask from me lah. Okay, I think all of you, no matter what class you're from, I think all of you have my number, or if you don't, you can ask your teacher for my number lah. Okay, then you can request the answers from me. Okay, totally no problem. If I don't answer you, if I don't reply you immediately, it either means I'm driving or I'm sleeping or I'm busy lah. Okay, tapi jangan teragak-agak. Okay, jangan takut untuk bertanya. Don't be scared to ask. But be patient lah. Okay, I cannot always be answering phones. Okay, I'm not a robot. But so once you once you have the two equations, then you can answer the questions already. Okay, so as I said before, simultaneous equations is a question that you should try to answer. But the problem is the people that do the exam questions kan nowadays are becoming more and more creative lah. Dia bukan, oh, okay, the square, the area, and then the perimeter of the square. We always see that kind of questions, right? This is a very good question actually. Okay, they use log, they force you to use log in order to form the equation. Then you will do simultaneous equations. So actually this question number 4 is 2 chapters in one question. Simultaneous equations and indices and logarithms. But if you take a look, the difficult part is actually the logarithm and index part. The simultaneous equations part is really too simple. Okay, it's very simple. All right, so give it a try and let me know if you get the answer. Okay, the next question I want to answer is question number 1 because I noticed a trend okay, saya nampak satu trend in sorry, I'm just checking the chat section to see if there's anything. Okay, so I noticed a trend these days in AdMaths questions Usually the first question is like a roadblock, what we call a roadblock question you know. So students what they tend to do is they tend to answer question number 1 and then they keep answering question number 1 until they get it. Then when they finally answer question number 1, they have no time to answer the rest of the questions. I think that is a very poor strategy Okay, a very poor strategy to answer any paper, okay, any paper is to start from question number 1 and then finish with the last question. It's a very poor strategy. Please remember this. In AdMaths, please don't annotate on my screen. Okay, in AdMaths, you don't have to answer the questions from the first to the last. You can answer the questions dalam sembarang urutan yang kamu mau. The most important thing, is that you write the question number before you answer the question. So you can answer question number 12 dahulu, baru question number 10, baru question number 1, baru question number 6. Okay, and that is a good strategy. Always answer the questions that you know how to answer first, or that memang kamu sudah aim. Okay, saya mesti jawab soalan linear law, saya mesti jawab soalan solution of triangles. I must answer index numbers. You go with the questions that you know. and you make sure that you start on a new page and you answer and you write the question number on top. This is the most important. You don't have to write the section, but you must write the question number. So important. Okay, because the rule that all pemeriksa pegang, if I'm not mistaken lah, okay, is if you don't write the question number kan, it's automatic zero, even if you answer correctly. No question number means zero. Okay, so always make it a habit. When you answer kan, the first thing you do is you write down there. Okay, question one. Lagi bagus kalau kamu tulis section lah. Okay, section A, question one. Senang lagi untuk pemeriksa tanda. Then you answer the question. Okay, so the reason why I'm talking about this is because a lot of times now, and I noticed this in a lot of trial papers and also in the past year paper. Question number one is what we call a roadblock question. Okay, a roadblock question means bila kau bacakan, then kau macam saya tahu tapi macam saya tidak tahu. Okay, kita cuba dulu. And then you spend half an hour on question number one. Padahal ada lebih banyak soalan di belakang that you already know how to answer, but you waste so much time answering the first question. Okay, because you're like trying this, trying that. Okay, so, but I want to tackle this question because it's a very good question actually. But I just want to mention that don't get stuck by the roadblock questions. Always aim for the questions that kamu tahu, kamu boleh jawab. Okay, then you go to the questions that you don't know. Okay, like you know that this is linear law, okay, jawab. You know that this is solution of a triangle, jawab. You know that this is index number, jawab. Okay, answer those first. Then yang soalan-soalan yang macam sama-sama itu kan, the dubious questions, you answer later. Okay. All right, so let's look at question number one. I don't know who is annotating this, but fine. Okay, question number one is a very interesting question. At first glance, it looks like chapter 9, okay, in Form 5, motion along a straight line. I don't know which classes have covered this. I know that I've only covered this on a surface level with my class, okay, but as we all know, chapter 9, motion along a straight line, doesn't appear in section A. Okay, tetapi ini adalah soalan yang ala-ala motion along a straight line. Okay, very interesting lah this question. So diagram 1 shows the position of A and B on a straight line where the distance of A and B is 100 meters. Okay, so jarak di antara A dan B adalah 100 meter. A particle P moves from point A to the right of A with an initial velocity of 10 meters per second. Okay, and the velocity increases by 2 meters per second for every second. Okay. Now, at the same time, particle Q starts to move from B towards right at a constant velocity of 9 meters per second. Okay, given that P and Q start to move at the same time. So, when you think about this kind, it's like, what question is this? Okay, then you start to imagine, oh, bab apa. Okay, and even I took some time to like, what question is this? So I thought it was quadratic equations. Then I was like, cannot be quadratic equations. Then I wanted to use the physics formula already, okay, to do this. Then I realized cannot because physics formula is mana boleh kalau di dalam maths. Okay, then only after a while when I saw this, the value of T if particle P overtakes particle Q after T seconds, then I realized that actually this is progression. Okay, this is actually janjang. Okay, it's such a good question, but it's so tricky. Okay, so we have to consider P progression and Q progression. And since we are talking about overtaking particle, we cannot talk about the velocity. We have to talk about the displacement, the distance. Okay, so if you consider P, okay, kalau the velocity is starting with 10 meters per second, that means dalam saat pertama, okay, in the first second, they move 10 meters. But in the second, okay, pada saat yang kedua, since it increased by 2, so we're looking at 10, and then 12, and then 14 meters per second. That means the distance that P travels will be 10. Okay, the next second it travels 12 meters, so it will be 22. The next one will be 36. Okay, and so on and so forth. Because the velocity, this is tough. Okay, this one, the velocity increases by 2 meters per second. Means every second, they will travel 2 extra meters, okay, from the second before. So this is 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I'm going to go all the way until 10 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, 7. How much is this? 24, 26, and 28. Okay. So if we talk in terms of this P moving, this will be 10, 22, 36. After 36, sorry, the first one is 10, and then plus 12 is 22. 22 plus 14 is 36. 36 plus 16 is 52. 52 plus 18 is 5, 6, 7, 70. 70 plus 20 is 90. Somebody is annotating on my screen. 90 plus 22 is 112. 112 plus 24 is 136. Okay, 136 plus 24, 26. Okay, 136 plus 26 is 162. Okay, and then 162. Lim Yu Tong, stop annotating. 162 plus 28 is 190. Okay, I'm going to do the first 10 first. Okay, so that means in the first second, T travels until 10 meters. And then the second it travels until 22 meters, until 36 meters. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then Q, dia punya velocity is constant velocity. So every second he's going to travel 9 meters, 9 meters, 9 meters, 9 meters. So since it's starting at the 100 point, so the first one will be 109. Okay, 109 is the first second. Then after that will be 118. Okay, and then after that 127, 136. And then if you go on and on and on and on, actually you will hit 190. Okay, and you'll find that both P and Q, okay, they will reach at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and therefore the value of T if particle P overtakes particle Q after T seconds will be T equals to 10 seconds. There is, okay, there is a mathematical way to do this. Okay, this one will be use Tn and then this one will be use Sn. So Sn equals to Tn. Okay, but it's a little bit more complicated than that, I feel. Okay, so actually if I were to answer this, I will use saya akan senaraikan. But the problem with this question is, most people will senaraikan Q correctly, but quite a lot of people will senaraikan P wrongly. Because P, it is not really a progression. Now take a look, 10, 22, 36, 52. It is not arithmetic, it is not geometric progression. Okay, it's some kind of weird progression. Okay, but because we want to know the distance, dia punya distance akan increase with every second. So you want to find the time where both the distances are the same. Okay, and we find that it happens right at t equals to 10 seconds. Okay, this is an amazing question. Okay, because when you look at it first time, it's like, oh, okay, maybe both is arithmetic progression. But actually, P's progression is not arithmetic at all. It's not arithmetic, it is not geometric. It's just some weird progression, which is why I prefer to use the listing down method. You can list down, okay? You can list down, but you must list down completely from 10 until 190, from 109 all the way to 190. If you list down both correctly, you will get the mark. Okay, don't skip like me lah. Okay, list it down. 136, 145, 154, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Then, the distance traveled by particle P at the instant when particle P overtakes particle Q. Okay, so the distance traveled by particle P will be 190 meters. You will have traveled 190 meters. Manakala particle Q will have only traveled 90 meters. Okay, so actually by doing this listing down method, you have actually answered A and B at the same time. Okay, cuma, as I said before, when answering a HOTS question, the difficult part is understanding the question. Okay, yang memahami soalan ini, yang susah. Okay. Okay. All right. So, as I said before, if you have any questions, you can always ask in the chat section, or if you want me to review this again, I can't review lah because I got other questions to answer. But you can always watch this video when I put it up on YouTube later. Okay, you can see if you can re-watch this video and try to understand this question again. Okay. All right. The next question, I need to clear this annotation. So annoying. Hold on. No, I can't. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So here's a question. Will I write the solution fully in every question? No, I will not write the solution fully in every question. My aim for this is to give you some guidance, and then after that, you have to try the question on your own. And if you want to know the answer, you can always ask me or you can ask your own teacher. Okay, what is the solution? Everybody, all the teachers have the solution. Okay, but if I do the solution for you, then no point lah. Okay, I only do guidance. So I will help you to figure out how to this one, tetapi pengiraan kamu mesti sendiri yang buat. Okay, another hot question that I want to look at is question number 5. Not really hot, but it's also quite interesting lah. Okay, so the above figure shows the circular cross section with a center O. I'm going to change the color for this. Blue. Okay, of a ball that is placed on a pail with a cross section of P, Q, and S. So this one is a pail, and then kau letak satu bola di atas. Okay, so obviously a part of the ball akan termasuk di dalam lah. Okay, now the points P and S lie on the circumference of the circular cross section. Okay, so P and S on this one, and Y is the lowest point vertically below O. If the radius of the ball is 15 cm, find POS. Okay, so let's put in the information first now. Huh? The first thing we know is from O until this one, all this is 15. This is 15, this is 15, this is 15, 15, 15, 15. We know that. Okay, we know that OY is 15. Okay. Now, secondly, we also know that there is a line that can this one lah. Okay, there is a line over here. If we connect them, because the first thing we want to count is POS. Okay, POS, sorry. Okay, POS. Okay, please forgive my horrendous design. So bukan this garis, not this grey color garis, but actually this blue color garis, POS. Okay, now take a look at this. This is actually a, sorry, this is actually a right angle triangle. Okay, and we know that the distance from P to S is the same distance as Q to R. And so if this is 20, therefore this is 10 and this is 10. Now, whenever you see a right angle triangle and then, you got the hypotenuse over here, usually is sine cos tangent. So I can find this value of the angle and then saya darab 2. So I'll get sine, I'm going to call this POY lah. Okay, sine POY equals to sine ka, yeah. Okay, 10 over 15. Because this is 10, this is 15, and it's opposite. 10 over 15. Okay, then you get POY equals to yada 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 yada. So once you get POY equals to yada yada yada, then you get POS lah. Okay, how do you get POS? It's just the yada 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 times 2. Okay, this one I think I need to give you all the answer lah. 83.62. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, you'll get POS is about 83.62 degrees. Of course, you have to change it to radian. Okay, so please change it to radian once you get that lah. Okay, but the idea behind this is this lah. All the information is not necessarily in the diagram. You have to put in the information yourself. So always take some time to read the question, put in the information, and then figure out what to do with the information. One of the biggest clues is actually this is a right angle triangle. Whenever you see a right angle triangle like this, 这个是 10, 这个是 15, this is the angle you want to find. Okay, definitely is sine cos tangent. Okay, always get used to this. Okay, So once you have POS in radian, the vertical height of point Y from the base of the pail. Okay, so dia mau cari this length, the vertical height of point Y from the base of the pail. So in order for me to answer this, I need to find this length first. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to find this length. Alamak. Sorry. Can I change the pen to be a little bit more thinner? Oh, no wonder it's so thick, my goodness. Okay, let's see if this works. So I need to find this, okay, this particular length. So how do I find this length? Okay, I need to find this length because I know that the whole thing over here is 15. Can I find this length? Can, because I already have this length and this length. So can I use, what can I use to find this? I use Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so I use Pythagoras theorem. 15 squared equals to 10 squared plus, I'm going to call this x lah, x squared. Okay, 15 squared equals to 10 squared plus x squared. So I can find this. Once I find this, how do I find this? I minus 15. Okay, 15, 15 minus whatever this length of x is. Okay, then I'll get this small tiny section over here. Okay, and since I know that from here until here, all the way is how many cm? Is 20 cm. So I know how long is this long. Okay, so strategy, let's figure out the strategy. First thing to do is find this length. Second thing to do is find this length. And then third thing to do is find this length. Yeah, I know. Okay. If you think about it, nothing in this question, is form 4 at maths. This is form 3 maths. You're only using Pythagoras theorem. Think about it. Okay. Soalan ini kan hanya melibatkan satu benda yang susah saja, iaitu Pythagoras theorem. Okay. There is nothing about this that is at maths now. There is no area of sector lah, whatever, tiada. It's all Pythagoras theorem. Okay. Okay, this chapter, this question, the chapter is circular measure. Okay, form 4, chapter 8. Okay, circular measure. Because, you know what is circular measure? Because got the word radian. As long as radian kan is usually circular measure. It's definitely not solution of triangle. Okay, the last one, the cross-sectional area of PYSRQ. So let's think about this. PYSRQ. So I want to know, sorry, I need to change color here. Okay. I want to know this area. Okay, the area of this. Okay, so what's the strategy? The strategy is the area of the square. Okay, think about this. Area of the square minus this tiny section over here. I'm going to highlight this. Okay, minus this yellow color section. The area of the square minus this tiny section over here, then you get this green color area. Okay, that's what the question is. So area of the square, no problem. 20 times 20. Okay, so this is the problem now. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with this. There's a formula actually to count this. Okay, so the formula to count this yellow part I'm going to call this the area of PSY Okay, PSY. PSY as in the Oppa Gangnam Style singer. Yeah, solid. Okay, so the area of PSY, okay, is actually 1/2 r squared theta minus sine theta. Okay, but this one is in radian and this one is in degrees. Okay, the area of this particular, oh no, where did the question go? hold on. Yeah, I know. Sorry. Okay, sorry. The area of this yellow section over here. This is what we call a segment. Okay, we call this a segment. Sebab this blue color line, siapa ingat, what is this blue color line called? This blue color line is called a chord. Okay, CHORD. So when you have a chord over here and then you have this one, a segment. Okay, so the area of the segment is 1 over 2 r squared theta minus sine theta. So the good thing is you have this theta. This is the theta. Again, changing the color. The theta we counted from the first question. Okay, POS is the theta. So this is the theta. Okay, here is theta. It's just that, okay, dalam formula ini, this theta, you have to put the radian value. Sine theta, this theta is the degrees value. So that's the good thing about this question. Because POS, if you remember just now when we counted the degrees first. And then after that only we change to radian. So you have both the values in here. Okay. So this will be 1 over 2. R is 15, right? Okay, so 15 squared. Okay, theta, let me just check and see. Theta is 1.4596. Kalau according to the marking scheme. 1.4596 minus sine 83.62. If I'm not mistaken, 83.62, yeah. Okay, how do we get this? Is from this value up here, from question A. Okay, cuma bila saya tukar 83.62 to radian, I get 1.4596. Okay, so once I have the area of PSY, which is this one, then I minus with the square to get the green color area. Okay, so give this a try. Okay, and if you think about it, okay, if you think about it, only question A and question C is actually at maths. Question B is actually from three science, from three maths. Okay, if I give the angle and I give question B to form 3 student, form 3 students should be able to answer because it only involves Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so don't be scared lah. Okay, don't be scared of circular measure questions. And this is a very good question actually, because it gives you a chance to redeem yourself. Because question B is not the maths part, no. Question B is a mathematics part, mathematics form 3. Okay, so actually it's a good question because it gives you chance to get points from here. Did we, adakah kita pakai, yeah, we didn't even use the answer from question A for question B. You can actually answer question B without even answering question A. Because we're only using Pythagoras theorem, then tolak dengan 15, tolak dengan 20. That's it. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at another one. Okay, this is an interesting question also. Okay, question number 6. Yeah, sorry, I need to let you all know. If you want to go for your own break, you can just go for your own break. I won't stop. I will go all the way until 12 o'clock. So if you say, oh, okay, cukup, you want to go for a break, go for a break and drink your own coffee or whatever it is that you drink when you go for a break. Okay, tapi I promise you 2 hours lah. Okay, so let's tunaikan janji. Diagram 6, okay, shows a cross-section of a hemispherical bowl of radius 8 cm. Water is poured into a bowl such that the height of HCm increases at the rate of 0.2 centimeters per second. Okay, so if you take a look at cm per second, this is dh dt. Okay, so this is 0.2. This is a very important information. Okay, and if you answer differentiation questions, okay, and this comes with experience. Macam mana kamu tahu ni, sir, DHDT? It comes with experience lah, because when you talk about rate of increase, and then of course, ni lah, kau nampak sudah kan dVdt ni. Now, so you kind of know that, this is a differentiation question. And when you have the H increases at the rate, that means it's DHDT. Okay, height divided by time is a rate. Okay, and then rate is 0.2 centimeters per second. Okay, so first of all, show that the area of the surface of the water is given by this one. That means this area over here. Okay, not this area, is the area yang, yeah, the water area. At first, when I look at this question, I thought it's asking me to count this area tau. Actually, it's not. It's count the area like that. Okay, so we know that in a bowl, okay, the area of the water is pi r squared lah. Kan? Circular like that. Pi r squared. Let me just check and see. Sekali tengok saya pula yang salah. Bohong. Yeah, correct. Okay, pi r squared. So I want to find, and this is easy. I know this r lah. Okay, this r is 8. So if I pour the water all the way to the top, okay, I pour the water all the way to the top, I know that my surface area of the water is 64 pi. Kan? Because r squared is 864 lah. Okay, sorry. Some people still coming in. Okay, so if I pour all the way up, but I want to pour all the way until H in. So how do I find this R, ini R baru ini? How do I find this? Okay, so let's think about this. If this is the center, okay, and if I draw a line over here, okay, do I know how long this is? This is also 8. Isn't it interesting? This is the center of the bowl. This is actually the radius. Kan? Sini adalah 8. And how about this? How? The whole thing is 8. Kan? Sebab sini 8, sini 8, sini 8, sini pun 8. So this is 8 minus H. And this particular section. 8, the whole thing is 8 minus H, I get this. So can I find this radius? Can. Of course you can. We use Pythagoras theorem. So if I were to write Pythagoras theorem, this is 8 squared. 8 squared equals to r squared, okay, plus 8 minus h squared. Okay. Now, once I do this, and I want r squared, somehow r, okay, so I bring this one across. So I get 8 squared minus 8 minus h squared equals to r squared. Okay. So let's simplify this. So this will be 64, oh dear, minus 64 plus 16h minus h squared equals to r squared. 64 minus 64, yada yada, gone. Okay, so I get r squared equals to 16h minus h squared. Okay, and therefore, the 16h minus h squared is the r squared. Okay, since the surface of this water at this level is pi r squared, the circle, okay, area of circle. Kalau this is the bowl, I want this area. Okay, not this area. Okay, this is a very confusing thing lah. But this will count the area of the surface of the water. Okay, so yang sini. So pi r squared. So I've proven this one because I've proven that r squared equals to 16h minus h squared using Pythagoras theorem. Okay, and so therefore, ta-da, done. Okay, find the rate of increase of A when H is 16 cm. So rate of increase of A is dA dt. Okay, how do you know it's dt? Kenapa bukan dH? Duh. Okay, because, sorry, because of the word rate. Okay, those of you who are not choosing to answer our differentiation questions, you can ignore this now. Okay, but I want to help everybody as much as I can. Okay, but this is a hot question, so we have to answer this anyway. So dA dt is what we want to find. H is 6 cm. But what do we have? We have, alamak, sorry. We have dH dt. And we can find dA dH lah. If I differentiate this, okay, so A equals to, I'm going to split this up. So 16h pi minus pi h squared. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to write this terbalik. So, sorry, because pi is just a number. Okay, pi is just like any number. So 16 pi h. So if I differentiate dA dH, okay, what do I get? I'll get, this one I differentiate, I get 16 pi. Pi is just a number. H saja yang kita differentiate. Okay, and this one will be minus 2 pi h. Saya bawa 2 ke depan dan the power kurang 1. So dA dH is this one. So since h is 6 cm, I can find this value. 16 pi minus 2 pi 6. Okay, so 16 pi minus 12 pi will give me 4 pi. Therefore, okay, so dA dt, okay, and when you answer this question, we have to use chain rule lah. Okay, so kita letak dA di atas dan dt di bawah. And what connects these two will be dH and dH. Okay, we have, you know why we do this? Because we only have this information. We don't have dA dt terus. So we use chain rule, okay, to do this. dA dH is 4 pi. Okay, 4 pi. And dH dt is already given earlier, 0.2. Okay, so we just multiply by 0.2. Okay, and what do we get? 0.2 times 4, we will get 0.8 pi. Okay, and that's our final answer. Yeah, this one I'm going to show you the final answer. Okay, since it's just a few steps only. Okay, dAdt, dAdH, dHdt. So we use chain rule over here. Okay, and we find that actually, if you answer differentiation questions, especially yang melibatkan inilah, rate of increase, yang melibatkan soalan rate lah. Okay, rate. Okay, kadar. Usually we have to use chain rule. Okay, so learn to understand how the chain rule works because it's actually very simple. Okay, yang kamu mau cari kau letak di sini. Then kamu pecahkan dA di atas, dt di bawah, and then find the connecting variable. Okay, cari dia punya pemboleh ubah yang boleh ubah di sana. Kalau darab tu pi salah kah? No, tidak salah. You can darab the pi if you want. 0.8 times 3.142, you can get the answer 2.5136 also can, no problem. I don't think it's a problem. Cuma, let me see ya. Yeah, I don't think it's a problem lah. Kalau saya rasa bukan masalah. Tapi saya suka pi sebab dia kemas. Okay, it's just kemas lah. For me, it's kemas. Okay. Looks professional lah. Okay, kalau 2.5136 kan macam noob's answer lah. Okay. But it's not wrong. Tidak salah. Okay, find the range of dV/dt if the water is leaking from the bottom of the bowl. Okay, if the water, this is actually a 1 mark question. Okay, dV/dt, dV/dt is isi padu. Okay, the volume. Okay, so the volume, and since they ask us to find the range, okay, so actually this is a 1 mark question. There is no working for this. You just have to understand. If the range, okay, if the water is leaking from the bowl, means itu volume akan semakin berkurangan. That means that the value of dV/dt is always going to be less than 0. It's always going to be negative value. Okay, this is the answer. Because the water is going to decrease. Kalau kita tambah air, then the volume of the water is going to increase. So the rate will increase, therefore dV/dt will be more than 0. Okay. So again, why I want to highlight this question, because it is a 1 mark question that only requires you to understand what this means and translate it into mathematical terms. Okay. Yes, I know it's difficult. Okay, saya tahu bahawa dia susah. Saya macam, kenapa? Okay, you are probably like, kenapa ini? Why? Okay, my brain is not working anymore. Okay, it's okay. Okay, take it slow, take it calm. Okay, Batu Pahat questions is a little bit tough lah. Okay, I admit that now. Okay, but this is a very good question because it's 1 mark, and if you really understand how this works dia suruh kamu cari range tau. Kalau dia suruh kamu cari dV/dt, it's a very big masalah, which we won't go lah. Okay, they only ask you to find the range. They just want you to understand if the water is going away, that means the rate of the change of volume is less than 0. Negatif lah sebab air semakin hilang. Tapi kalau kau semakin tambah air, then the range will be more than 0. Okay, so yeah, so mana tahu this question comes out in your SPM this year. At least you can get this 1 mark, kan? So this chart, the range of divinity sejak. Okay. All right. Now I noticed that in the Batu Pahat paper okay, I noticed that in the Batu Pahat paper, actually the HOTS questions came from section A. If you look at section B, nothing in this section B or C is HOTS. Look at the trigonometry question. Okay, the trigonometry question, only the identity is a little bit difficult. Only a little bit lah. Okay, only a little bit difficult. But the sketching on the graph is pretty simple, and you can answer this. Okay, the vector questions also, this is very standard questions. We call this routine questions. Means kalau kamu pernah nampak soalan ini dalam buku teks and dalam modul-modul kan, it's very, very similar. Okay. Even the probability questions, there's nothing much to it. Nothing kebat. The binomial question is carom lah. Okay, dia menang atau dia kalah. Then the normal distribution, the mass of a durian, they give you the mean, they give you the standard deviation, and then, one works from left to right, the other one works from right to left. Sorry, if you don't know what is this left to right, right to left, you have to ask me another time now. But sorry, for the students that I teach from left to right, right to left. I hope you understand what I mean lah. Okay, yang saya ajar. Okay, so nothing special about this. This is a integration question. Also nothing special. There's nothing really non-routine about this question. If you answer integration a lot, okay, you will see this question and it's just, get used to this kind of questions. Okay, and even the linear law, also nothing special. Okay, even better, they ask you to construct a table and give you 1 mark for it. Okay, then they ask you to draw a graph, they give you some, nothing special in this question. Okay, everything is pretty routine. We don't do this question except for those who want to. Okay, this question only lah. Okay, maybe this question is a little bit this one. Maybe because when you kena photostat kan dia tidak berapa jelas. So if your gambar tidak berapa jelas, it's a good idea for you to copy this now. So this is 110. This is 112, I think. Yeah, this is 112. Right, this is 105. Oh no, am I reading this correctly? Yeah, correct. 105. This is 107. This is 120. This is 122. This is 102. And this is 107. Okay, so this is the price index now. Okay, but in your photostated paper kan dia mungkin tidak jelas. So I'm writing this down here so that you can copy it down when you answer this question. Okay, but again, the index number question, there's nothing really very special about it because the ratio is given, which the ratio is actually the weightage lah. Okay, so 3m, m, 2m. So the total weightage is 3 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 plus 4m. Okay, the total weightage is 3 plus 4m. So nothing special over here. And the solution of triangle also is pretty basic. So actually, this question paper, the difficult part is in section A. And the reason why they make section A so difficult is, as I said before, is to trap people. Okay, because, and as I said, students who answer advanced paper with no strategy, kita jawab dari nombor 1 dulu, baru kita pergi soalan last kan. Section A is designed to trap you all. Okay, so you need to overcome this habit. If you're the kind of student that answers from question 1 and then question 2 and then this one, you need to overcome this habit because it will harm yourself. Okay? Because you know that you can answer solution of triangles. You know that you can answer linear law. So you should aim for those questions first. The most important thing is to write the question number. Okay, that's the most important thing. Anything, you can answer in any any order that you want. Okay, so that's for the paper 2 section. You know what? I'm going to take a break because I need to go to the toilet. We're going to take a break for a little while, and then the next time when we come back, just give me about 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, then we're going to do the paper 1 questions. Okay, hot questions from paper 1, Batu Pahat. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. So now we're going to continue into paper 1. Okay, paper 1 of Batu Pahat. Paper 1 of Batu Pahat actually got a lot of interesting hot questions. And as I said before, HOTS questions are questions that are complicated, but actually the working is very simple. Okay, so there are some questions that I want to highlight. And as I said before, kalau kamu ada soalan yang kamu sudah jawab tapi kau tidak tahu macam mana mau jawab, atau kau masih tidak faham and you want me to explain, always write it in the chat section, or you can unmute yourself and ask me directly lah, so that I know that okay, I want to tackle this question. Otherwise, saya akan teruskan dengan saya punya rancangan saja. Okay, right. So the figure number 1, okay, shows the achievement of 2 classes in alpha beta test. Okay, so they don't tell you which one is alpha, then they don't tell you which one is beta. Okay, but this is both are normal curves. Cuma satu adalah tinggi dan satu adalah flatter lah. Okay, now the normal curves are represented by this, and this one, sorry. Okay, and this one is, as we know, this is the standard deviation. I don't know why my car is so noisy today. Okay. Shh. Right. Okay. So we find that the value of alpha, the standard deviation is smaller, and then beta, the standard deviation is bigger. Okay, 25.75. So which class shows the most consistent achievement in the test? Okay, give your reason. This requires us to understand how this one works. Okay, so when the standard deviation is small, okay, when the standard deviation is small, what this means, it means a few things. Okay, small standard deviation means that the differences in the marks between one student to another there's not that much difference. The difference is very small. So let's say in your class, kamu punya class you have 25 students and all 25 students whose mic is that? Okay, all 25 students, the mark is antara 50 until 60 saja. Semua dapat antara 50 to 60. Okay. Okay, antara 50 until 60 then we call that class has a small standard deviation because tidak banyak beza bah. Okay, 50 to 60. Everybody antara 50 hingga 60 saja. But if you have a class, okay, that let's say 25 students and then the range of the marks is very wide, Means ada murid yang dapat 10 markah dan ada murid yang dapat 90 markah. Then we call that class a class with a bigger standard deviation. Because the range is so wide, dia punya perbezaan markah sangat besar. Ada yang sangat bagus dan ada yang sangat teruk. Okay, we have 90 and then we have 10. Okay, so we call that class a less consistent class and a bigger standard deviation. Okay, so this information, the standard deviation information tells us a lot of things. In a smaller standard deviation, okay, this is a more consistent, okay, not so much difference, Okay, macam yang saya cakap class A just now class A dia punya markah is between 40 to 50 saja, between 50 to 60 saja. Semua orang dalam kelas itu dia punya markah itu saja, 50 until 60, not so much difference. But in a class that has a bigger standard deviation, okay, this is a less consistent. Okay, less consistent, and the difference is very big difference. Okay, the difference is a very big difference. So, those of you that know, okay, so I teach 5AC lah. So 5AC is a very good example of a very big standard deviation, because the highest mark in that class usually about 90 something, okay, and then the lowest mark is 0. Okay, so the difference in the class is very big. You got people that score 90 something, and you got people that score 0. Okay, manakala, okay, I would say okay, for another class that I teach is 5S2 So 5S2, the marks are actually between 80 until 20. So notice that the difference is not so much bigger. Okay, it's a smaller difference, a little bit more consistent, okay, compared to 5AC. Contoh, okay, actually it's not really contoh it's true story Okay, but that's a good example for us to refer to. So, which class shows the most consistent? Antara ini dua, alpha shows the most consistent. The reason is because the standard deviation is smaller. That's it. 2 marks. 2 marks. 1 mark, sorry. Alpha, because the standard deviation is smaller. Is there any jalan kerja for this? No. It just requires you to understand what the standard deviation means. Okay. Now B, determine the appropriate curve data representing alpha data and beta data. So if you don't understand this, I want you to memorize this because it's a very important thing. We find that in a lot of years kan ini standard deviation ni balik-balik keluar ni. Okay. Now, so a curve like this, a sharp curve lah. Okay, curve yang tinggi dia lebih penyet macam ni ya. Okay, this has a smaller standard deviation. Okay, so dia tidak banyak besar. A flatter curve, dia punya curve sangat flat macam ni kan. This one has a bigger standard deviation. So therefore, this curve P is actually alpha, and curve Q is actually beta. Okay, so you have to remember this lah. When you look at the value of the standard deviation, think about a few things. Small standard deviation means it's more consistent. The difference in the marks is not very much different. Okay, and in terms of the normal distribution curve, it is a higher curve, thinner lah, lebih kurus. Okay, but the fatter and the flatter curve, kalau the curve is flat and is much more spread apart kan, okay, then the standard deviation is bigger. Okay, standard deviation bigger and it is less consistent and there's a big difference. Okay, so ini macam soalan fakta lah. If you think about it kan, there's no working, tiada jalan kerja. It just requires us to understand what the standard deviation means. Okay, which actually, is actually in your textbook, in your Form 4 textbook kan, ini ada kena tanya ini. Okay, it's just that we are always so concerned about how to count the standard deviation kan, that we don't understand now what the standard deviation actually means. So it's very important. Okay, mean is the average, but the standard deviation tells you the difference from the average. Okay, so this is the mean, right? This line is the mean. Okay, mean. Alamak. Okay, mean. So the higher the curve means there's not that much difference from the mean. But if the curve is very flat like that, then there's a lot of difference. See, here and here got a lot of difference from the mean. So we have a bigger standard deviation. Okay, so yeah, so I hope this helps you to understand what the standard deviation actually means, and always be on the lookout for these kind of questions, because if you understand what the standard deviation is kan, alamak, if you understand what the standard deviation is, okay, then actually these kind of questions should be able to answer. Paper 1 and paper 2, okay, also has come out before in other trial papers lah. I've only seen this in paper 1 in SPM. Okay, but I wouldn't be surprised kalau paper 2 pun ada soalan macam ni. Okay, now I want to talk about this because when I taught this, when I discussed this question, a lot of people got confused with this. So let's talk about this lah. So NP3, you know what? I'm going to talk about NPR. So the permutation formula, we always can count from this one. Okay, but unfortunately, there is a specific formula to it lah, which I wonder whether it's given here. There, NPR is this, n factorial over n minus r factorial. Okay, so I'm going to write this down here. So NPR is actually n factorial over n minus r factorial. Now, what does n factorial mean? Let's say it is 5 factorial. 5 factorial means 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. If it is 10 factorial, it is 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times all the way until times 1. Okay, what about n factorial? You notice that every time we multiply with a number that is less and less and less until you finally reach 1. You don't go times 0 lah. What's the point of times 0, right? Okay, until times 1. So n factorial will actually be n times n minus 1 times n minus 2. Think about this, 10 10 minus 1, 10 minus 2 times n minus 3 all the way until finally it will be 1. The last number is always 1. Okay, so let's take a look at this. np3 over 2m, macam ni. Okay, so np3, if I'm going to change this into this will be n factorial over n minus 3 factorial. Correct? Okay, I'm going to do it separately and then I'm going to combine it later. Okay, so n factorial over n minus 3 factorial, if we take a look at this, I can actually split this n factorial so that saya boleh kasih hilangkan this. So this will be n minus 1, n minus 2, and then n minus 3 factorial over n minus 3 factorial. Because in doing this, I can cut this. So I can get n minus 1, n minus 2. Okay, macam ni. I leave it here first lah. Okay, then I do the same thing for this side. Okay, which is, you know what, I'm going to change to blue color or green color. Okay, so this is n minus 1 p2. So this will be n minus 1 factorial over n minus 1 minus 2 factorial. And n minus 1 minus 2 lah, n minus r. So this will be n minus 1 factorial over n minus 1 minus 2 is again n minus 3. Okay, factorial. Now, this one I can split again, you know. N minus 1, n minus 2, and then n minus 3 factorial over n minus 3 factorial. And this one I can cut once again because it's the same thing. Oh no, what am I doing? Sorry. Okay, now I can cut. So I'm left with n minus 1 and n minus 2. Okay. Then now I can put this into here and this into here. So what will I get? No more space, but never mind. We try. Okay, blue color. So on the left side now will be n minus 1, n minus 2 over 2m equals to, on the right side, I will get this, n minus 1 and n minus 2. Okay, so the question is, express m in terms of n. So I want my final answer to be m sama dengan blah 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 blah. I want m to be the kepala rumus. So since m is here, I'm going to bring this up and I'm going to bring this down. So I'm going to get n minus 1, n minus 2 over n minus 1, n minus 2 equals to 2m. Cut, 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 cut. My favorite action of the day is to cut, cut, cut. So you get n sama dengan 2m. Therefore, m equals to half of n. And there you have it. Done. Oh, no, sorry. Don't do this tic-tac-toe. Tak boleh. Okay. This is our final answer. But you see, actually, this question, it is, how to say, it's not complicated lah. It just requires you to know how to use this formula. Okay, which is very jarang lah. Ini jarang ditanya ini sebenarnya. Okay, but it's interesting that nowadays we find that paper 1, they actually want to test you on the basic stuff. This is actually very basic. Okay, yeah, even though it's only 2 marks kan, macam semua jalan kerja ni untuk 2 marks. Okay, actually kan, this part yang warna hijau dan yang warna merah kan, tiada markah ini. Yeah, this is the only part that has the mark. Okay, 1 mark here and then 1 mark over here. Okay, so yeah, so that's the tough part lah. Okay, but if you know how to manipulate this kan, then actually it's very simple. Okay, next question is question number. Okay, I want to do question number 4, but I just want to explain this a little bit. Okay, so this is the distribution marks for a group of students in an ADMATS test. And this is a cumulative frequency. Okay, not the frequency per se lah. Okay, so whenever you see a frequency, cumulative frequency, it's always good to find the actual value. So this is 5, this is 13. Okay, how do you get 13? It's just 18 minus 5. Okay, 18 minus 5, I get 13. This is the actual frequency. Okay, that means how many people got 20 to 29 marks is 5. How many people got 30 to 39 is 13. Okay, and that's how we calculate. So 39 minus 18 will be 21. Okay, kali. Let's eat. 39 minus 18. 21. I shouldn't doubt myself. Okay, then 53 minus 39. Okay, you will get 14. 53 minus 39. Yeah. So terrible, kan? Once I holiday, kan, my brain also holiday. So 72 minus 53 is 9. No, definitely not. 19. Okay, and then this is 8. 80 minus 78. So this is the actual frequency for this. Now the reason I calculate the actual frequency is because this question got something to do with this lah. So Mr. Edry, the subject teacher, intends to give the reward to the best 20 students. Determine the minimum mark should be obtained by the students in order for them to receive the reward. What this question is asking you is to determine the mark for the 20 best students. Okay, 20 best lah. Out of the 80, we're going to find the 20 best. So 20 highest marks. Okay, so actually what they are asking you to find is to find the third quartile. Okay, find the value of the third quartile. Now, if there are 80 people altogether, that means your n is equals to 80. So your third quartile is the 60th person. Okay, how do you find the value of the 60th person? How do you find what's the formula for the third quartile? Okay, so Q3 is the lower boundary of the third quartile, okay, plus 3 over 4n, okay, minus the cumulative frequency over the frequency, okay, times C. So, okay, so when you see this question, then we're like, it's not fair lah, because you know why? The formula for the third quartile is actually not given. You're only given the formula for median. This is median. This is the second quartile, median. Okay, the third quartile is everything is the same except that this is 3 over 4. Okay, that's all. Okay, first quartile is 1 over 4. Third quartile is 3 over 4. Okay, so sorry, where am I? Okay, so because of that, we have to determine where is the third quartile. Okay, so if this is 5, 13, 39, 53, the third quartile is the 60th person. So the 60th person is in this group. Okay, because until here is the 53rd person. Okay, so that means the 60th person, orang yang ke-60 adalah dalam kumpulan ini. Okay, and this becomes the, this becomes the very important group. Okay, because all the information is from this group. So LQ3, the lower boundary of the third quartile is 59.5. Okay, 59.5 plus 3 over 4 times 80 is 60 minus the cumulative frequency of that third quartile is 72 over the frequency before this one is 14. Okay, times the size of this one is 10. Okay, so once you calculate that, sorry, is this 14 or 19? Oh, sorry, my mistake. Oh dear. Okay, so obviously my brain is not working. Cumulative frequency before, bahkan. So this one should be, if this is the cumulative frequency before, is 53 times the frequency of this one, so it's times 19. My mistake. Okay, so F kecil adalah kekerapan longgokan, the cumulative frequency before the third quartile. And then the big F is the frequency of that third quartile, 19. My mistake. Okay, then you get your final answer from here. Okay, so this question, Dia tidak, it's not specifically telling you to count the third quartile. So usually questions with median, third quartile, they will tell you, okay, calculate the third quartile, calculate the first quartile. But they changed the question. They changed the question so that they are asking you to think, okay, best 20 students means the top 20. Top 20 means the third quartile. Okay, yang di atas. Because the first quartile is the bottom 20 students. Median is, the middle 20. Then the third quartile is the third 20 lah. Okay, 60 students. The 60th student, okay, is the third quartile. So that's the twist that they put to this question. Otherwise kan, the jalan kerja is very standard. Okay, this is the third quartile punya jalan kerja. It's just understanding what this question wants. That's the tough part. Okay, all right, let's go to others. The rest of the questions are actually quite this one. Okay, I want to tackle this question first. So diagram 7 shows a region bounded by this one. And then it is given the 3f prime x. So when I did this question with both my classes, a lot of students ask me lah, this f prime, f prime, okay, let's settle this once and for all. So f prime x is actually differentiation, okay, dy dx. Okay, f negative 1x, okay, this is inverse function. Okay, two different chapters altogether. Okay, this one got nothing to do with this, and this one got nothing to do with this. Okay, dia tiada kaitan. One is inverse function, totally different chapter. One is differentiation. Cuma yang ada sama ini adalah dua-dua adalah huruf F dan dua-dua ada kurungan X. But this tanda prime, the prime tanda over here actually means you're differentiating terhadap X. Okay. Now, it is given that 3f prime x equals to hx, okay, and fx, and suddenly they give you this. Okay, state the area of the shaded region. Now, take a look at this. The area of this, okay, is the integration of hx, okay, from a to b, correct? If I integrate hx, okay, from a to b, okay, then I will get this area. Okay, now let's take a look at this. If I integrate this, okay, if I have 3f prime x, oh dear, 3f prime x, okay, equals to hx. Now, if I integrate the left side, I must integrate the right side, correct? And let me integrate this from a to b. Okay, so if I integrate the differentiation, what will get originally? I will get the original one, no? Fx. Okay, from A to B. Correct or not? Correct. Of course it's correct. Okay, of course the number 3 is still in front here, side the 3. Because this is, okay, so this question is asking you to do the same thing that a lot of other questions have done. They will give you the differentiated version, and then they will ask you to just switch it back, okay, by integrating it. This relationship you must understand. Okay, f prime x, if I differentiate becomes fx, if I differentiate becomes f prime x. This is differentiate. If I integrate, okay, if I integrate f prime x, I will get fx. So this relationship is very important. Do I have to know what is f prime x and what is fx? No need to know. No need to know. Don't make your life difficult. Okay, by apa itu f prime x? Die lah. No need, because you are given all the necessary information over here. If I integrate f prime x, I will get fx from a to b. And you know why? Because this is already given. So that means the integration of hx, okay, which is the area lah. Okay, the area of this one is the integration of hx from a to b. Okay, which happens to be the same as this because already given this. So this is actually 3 times negative 5. Okay, hi everyone. So actually in the original video, I realized later from another student that I had actually made a mistake in the original explanation. So this is the actual explanation for this one. So we find that the area under the graph is the integration from a to b of hx. Okay, a to b lah. But in this question, they give to us that after you integrate hx, okay, this fx will be this f prime x will become fx. But it tells us that from b to a, okay, look at the order, b di bawah, a di atas. So from b to a is -5. But we want from a to b. Okay, so if b to a of fx is -5, a to b of fx is 5, but just positive. So when you multiply it by 3, okay, then it will be 15. Okay, so this is the answer. In my original video, I made a mistake lah. I said this is -15, but actually it's 15 because I didn't notice earlier that this information given was from B to A. But we want from A to B. So we have to negative the negative, which gives us the positive value. Okay, now back to the original video. This next part I won't answer because this is a very standard question. The graph passes through this. When you differentiate this, you get this. So if you want to find hx, you just integrate this lah. Okay, so hx, saya cakap je kan saya tidak akan jawab, tapi saya jawab juga in the end. So hx is actually the integration of -3x squared plus 5x minus 1. Okay, so the question is, why do they give you this 1, 1? For what? What's the point? Okay, apa ni? What's the integration? Because when you integrate this, you get plus c. Mestilah plus c kan? Okay, so because this is an open integration, sorry, it is an indefinite integration. So indefinite integration, you need a plus c, and that's why you have the 1, 1 to find the plus c. Okay, so saya mau highlight soalan ini sebab of this one lah. Okay, and I want to mention that in paper 1, we must be, flexible lah. Don't think about the equation, think about the concept. Okay, the concept is that integration and differentiation kan, they are under relationship. Okay, that we need to understand how it works. All right, let me see. What are the other questions? Okay, so this one is also another one which is non-routine. Okay, so as I said, K-part questions, hot questions, are what we call non-routine questions. Dia bukan soalan yang kamu selalu jumpa dalam kertas peperiksaan atau yang kamu selalu jumpa dalam buku. And we have found that actually in paper 1, all the non-routine questions ask you very, very basic stuff. Think about the question number 1 just now. Just basically ask you to understand now what is standard deviation. No calculation, no complicated this one. Just you have to understand what is the meaning, okay, that of the things that you are studying. Wow, what is the meaning of the things that you are studying? Okay, so the sample space is given as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then the subsets is A, B, C, D like this. Okay, state the number of A cross B. Okay, so A and B, 6 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there anything that is the same? There's nothing that is the same. So the answer is 0. Because A bersilang. Intersect. Okay, A intersect with B. There's nothing the same over here. So the number is 0. 1 mark. Okay? Again, requires you to understand the concept. Determine the two events that are exhaustive but not mutually exclusive. Okay, exhaustive, exhaustive means when you combine the two events, everything in the sample set, okay, everything dalam ruang sample, the sample space is inside the combination. So two events, antara A, B, C, D, you have to choose two where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is inside, but they are not exclusive. Not exclusive is, okay, so A and B is exclusive because nothing is the same. Okay, so exhaustive, exhaustive means everything, okay, everything in S must be there. Okay, not mutually exclusive means got repeat. Okay, if you want to put it in very simple terms. Not mutually exclusive means there are things that repeat. In both sets got the same element. Okay, so we think about it, okay, we have to choose two lah. Okay, two events that got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then there is a repeat. So the only logical one will be B and D. Right? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 got. And then there is a repeat. 3, 4, 5 also got, 3, 4, 5 also got. So they are not exclusive. So the answer for this is B and D. Determine the two events that are mutually exclusive but not exhaustive. Okay, that means they are mutually exclusive. That means there's no repeat. Okay, mutually exclusive means no repeat. Okay, but not exhaustive. Not exhaustive is don't have to have everything. Okay, remember exhaustive is everything must be there. You must have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But not exhaustive means you don't have to have. Asalkan dia no repeat. So the only possible one is A and C lah. Because there's no number 1. Right? So it's not exhaustive. And they don't have a repeat. So they are mutually exclusive. So the answer for this will be A and C. 3 marks. Is there any complicated calculation over here? No, there's no complicated calculation. It is just back to the basics. And actually, if you think about it, I'm not sure, I don't remember the Form 5 maths, but I don't think there is. Okay, but this is very basic. Okay, it just asks us to determine the concept. Okay, we have to understand apa maksud peristiwa habisan dan bukan saling eksklusif. Okay, we have to understand what does exclusive mean. Exclusive means, they're very special. Both the events got no repeat. If they are not, sorry, if they are exclusive, means they got no repeat. You are there lah. You are here lah. Okay, but exhaustive, okay, habisan, exhaustive means everything in the sample space must be in these two. Okay, that's what it means. So I wanted to highlight this question to help us to revise what does this exhaustive and exclusive mean. Okay, because it's a very basic concept. All right, let me see. Other questions that are hot. Okay, but the rest of the questions are pretty straightforward. Okay, this one. 22. So determine whether the inverse function exists for each of the following functions. Okay, so this is the concept again. Inverse function only exists kalau dia adalah 1 to 1. Okay, if the original function is a 1 to 1 function, then there is an inverse function. Okay, I repeat. If the function is a 1 to 1 function, okay, then the function has a inverse, this one. Okay, so if it is not a 1 to 1 function, it is 1 to many, many to 1, many to many, no inverse function. Okay, this is the syarat, and this is the concept we must remember. Okay, inverse function only has kalau the original function is a 1 to 1. So we have to see this lah. Okay, 1 to 1. Now, the best way to determine whether it's 1 to 1 in a graph is you draw straight lines. Okay, draw straight lines. I'm going to use blue for the vertical, and I'm going to use, once again, red for the horizontal. Okay, now, when you use blue for the vertical and red for the horizontal, take a look at this black line. Okay, now, at any of the blue lines or the red lines, does the black line cross the same line twice? Does that make sense? Okay, kamu tengok ini garis merah ini. Dia bersilang dengan garis hitam ni satu kali saja. Take a look at this blue line. This blue line only crosses the black once. This blue line only crosses the black once. This red line only crosses the black here once. Okay, so this is a 1 to 1 function. Okay, so definitely this one is yes. Any other inverse function. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Okay, maybe, sorry, I'm not sure if this makes sense now, but this is how I would understand this. So let's say I draw the blue lines again. Okay, take a look at the black line and this blue line. Every time the blue line cross once, and they won't cross this one again. So far, it looks like a 1 to 1 function, but we still need to have the horizontal lines. Allah. So, okay. So horizontal lines is like this. Da-da-da, okay. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Now take a look. Look at the red lines and the black lines. Cross once, cross another time on the same line. Cross once here, cross another time over here. The blue and the red and the black. Don't look at the blue anymore. Look at the red. The red and the black line. Okay, on the same red line, the black line crosses twice. On the same red line, the black line crosses twice. So this is not a one-to-one. Okay, this is actually many to one, one to many. Sorry, one to many. Eh, many to one. Why am I struggling with this? X is one. Yeah, this is many to one. Eh, one to many. Sorry, one to many. Many to one, many to one, many to one. Okay, but anyway, this is no inverse function because the red lines cross twice. Okay, how about this? Oh, this one is even more obvious lah. Okay, don't even need to draw the blue line. I'm going to draw the red line. I'll just draw this red line enough. 1, 2, 3. Even worse, cross 3 times. Okay, so this is definitely no inverse function. It must be a straight line like this. Then it has sorry, not straight line. It must have a no cross at all. Only one time cross only. No two times bersilang, or this is even worse, 3 times bersilang. Okay, definitely cannot. Okay, so yes, no, no. This one got inverse function because it's a one-to-one function. Okay, now function f is defined by fx equals to px. Okay, where p is constant and p does not equal to 1. That means you can have fx equals to 2x, or fx equals to example 1/2x contohnya. As long as dia bukan 1 lah. Okay, because if it is 1 kalau dia adalah 1, then it will be this line. This line. Okay, this is fx equals to x. Okay, I don't want this now. So if I want to draw the f and the f inverse, okay, what I will get is, if this is fx equals to x, okay, my f, if my p is a constant, okay, what I will get is, I'm going to change color. Okay, I'm going to get this line. Sorry, this line over here. Okay, this is fx. Okay. The inverse of it okay, is the reflection of fx on this line. So the inverse, okay, will be like this. This is the inverse. Allah. Okay, this is f inverse x. Okay, I reflect the blue color line along the red color line when fx equals to x. Okay, again, this is a very basic concept lah. Okay, which we tend to overlook because we are always so busy learning how to find the inverse function. Okay, but we find that admits these days they ask pretty strange concept questions. Okay, so our concept needs to be strong. Okay, for this. All right. I think that's about it because that's the only yeah, you know what? I think that's about it. Okay, sorry, one more hot question. Now, a wheel with a radius of RCM is being placed in the corner of a room like in diagram 21. So I'm going to draw the center over here, and then I know this. Apa ini? Okay, I know that this is R lah. Okay. Now, given that the distance from point P from the wall, okay, and the room is 2 and 1. So the coordinate of P is actually 1 and 2. 1 from the floor, 2 from the wall. 1 from the floor, 2 from the wall. So this coordinate is 1 and 2. Okay, find the value of the wheel radius, this R. Okay, that's the only information they give you, just the coordinate, and then of course I know that this is the radius lah. Okay, so let's think about this. If this is R, okay, from I'm going to call this point M now. From M to P, the distance is R. And I don't know what is uh, the radius lah. Okay, I don't know what is this one. But I know that this one and this one is the same. Correct? This is also R and this is also R. Okay? The height over here is R and this one is also R. Can you see that? Let me see. Let me see if I got this correct. Yeah. Okay. So this distance, since this is R, okay, I can say that, and I can say that this point M is actually R and R. Because tinggi ini adalah R, and this one is also R. And interestingly, the distance between M and P is also R, because this is a circle. Okay, it doesn't make sense. It's like, really, really. Think about it. Okay, ini kan jejari. Therefore, the distance here is R. Therefore, the x coordinate is R. This is also jejari. So the height is also R. And the distance between M and P is also R. Is also the radius. Okay, so if I put this into the distance formula, R squared, okay, this one equals to R minus 1 squared plus R minus 2 squared. Okay, sorry, you know what? I'm not going to use squared. I'm going to use R. Now, okay, sorry, formula is distance is x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared square root. Okay, this is the distance formula. Okay? This is the distance formula, which is what I'm using this. It's just that I already know what is this distance. The distance is r. And the coordinates between these two is r minus 1 and r minus 2 squared. And all I have to do is just simplify this. Okay, and I will get two values of r on which only one can be used, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on. Yeah. Get r equals to 5 and r equals to 1, but there's only one lah. Okay, r equals to 5. R cannot be equal to 1 because sini sudah satu. Okay, this is the final answer. Okay, but look at the, I want to say it's the beauty of this question, but it's so near to 12 o'clock that, okay, but this is the actual beauty of this question, that even with so little information, you have actually enough information to get you through these questions. Because the distance is all the same, r. And this coordinate of the center of the wheel, okay, is actually r. Okay, because, the distance of the radius. When we think about it, it's like not logical, it's like, really? How can the distance, and then the radius is also r? It's like, but that's how the circles work. Okay, that's how the circles work. Okay, I think I've covered all that I want to cover from Batu Pahat. Okay, these are the questions that I think are hot questions, which, you can always watch this video again to help you to see if you can understand this more and more. But we have a little bit of time left. I just wonder if any of you have any questions that you want me to cover before I call it a day. Anyone got any questions? You can type it in this one. Silence. Okay. All right. I guess everybody is happy, or everybody is too blurred. It is kenapa ni? Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Let me be clear once again. The holiday sessions that I plan to do, I memang want to cover only the hot questions, because, as I said before, hot questions are questions that are actually simple to do, but requires us to understand the concept. Okay. Paper 2, question 2. Really? Paper 2, question 2? Let me take a look at it first. Paper functions question. Okay. After saying so many R's, R be sounding like Mr. Krabs. Yeah, I know. Ew, Mr. Krabs. Okay, paper 2, question 2, question B. Let me see if I can share the right screen. Okay. Paper 2, question 2, question B. Okay. Now, this one. Okay, so G2, G3, and G37. Okay, so obviously you have to find G2 first. Okay, so GX okay, will be equals to G, and then you have 1 plus X, and then 1 minus X. Okay, so you substitute this into the X over here. So you will get what? You know what? I'm going to use different colors to help you all. Yeah, I like using different colors. Kan? So, mengada. Okay. Apa ni? Okay, so this will be 1 plus, then 1 minus. Because I want to substitute the X with the red color one. Okay, so I'll get 1 plus X over 1 minus X. And then this will be 1 plus X over 1 minus X. Okay, whenever you take a first look at this, it looks very complicated, right? So split it up first. Okay, do this and then bring it back together. It's always good to do that. Okay, so changing color again. Sorry. Yeah, I like my annotator. Okay, so this one, just do the top first. So 1 plus x over 1 minus x. If I were to simplify this, I make everything over 1 minus x. Okay? So this will be 1 minus x plus 1 plus x. So 1 plus 1 is 2, minus x plus x is 0. So this will be 2 over 1 minus x. Okay, now the bottom. 1 minus 1 plus x over 1 minus x. Sorry, my annotator is like not working on me today. Okay, so combine the bottom again. So over 1 minus x. Then 1 minus x minus 1 minus x. Because there's a minus in front. So this will give us 1 minus 1 is 0, minus x is minus 2x over 1 minus x. Okay, now I'm going to combine this all, okay, and what I'm going to get is, on the top over here is 2 over 1 minus x. Divide by negative 2x over 1 minus x. Because dia per makan. So I change it to divide lah. And because you are dividing a fraction, I will flip it over. So I'll get 2 over 1 minus x times 1 minus x over negative 2. Cut negative 2x here. Okay, negative 2x. Am I doing this correctly? Yeah, should be lah. Okay, 2 and then negative 2. So I'll get actually negative 1 over x. Okay, so that's G2. Okay, G3. Yeah, it's getting more and more annoying. Okay, so G3 is, wow, I'm running out of space. Let me see if I can do it on top here. You know what, can lah. Okay, so G3 is actually G2x, correct? Okay, so G2x we've already done. G2x is negative 1 over x. So this is G negative 1 over x. And if I substitute this into here, since I got such a long question, yeah lah. Okay, so 1 plus negative 1 over, oh, sorry, my mistake. You know what, I'm going to need a lot more space for this. Kenapa lah saya mengada-ngada ni kan? 1 plus, oh yeah lah, correct lah, what am I doing? Okay, negative 1 over x. And then over 1 minus negative 1 over x. Are you all still with me so far, or are you already like switching off? Sekali saya tengok kan, tinggal 10 participant lagi, kesian. Okay, I'm going to rub this off because I don't need this anymore. If you want to refer, you can always refer to this one. Okay, so simplifying this, this will give me so bad. Okay, if I do the top, this will give me x minus 1 over x. Okay, and if I do the bottom, this will give me, oh, what happened to this? Okay, this will give me x plus 1. Okay, x plus 1 over x. So if I combine these two together, wow, this is a very poor, in teacher circles, we call this whiteboard management. So if you all have ever been taught by me, you know that my whiteboard management is the worst in the world. Saya main conteng, saja di mana ada kosong di situ lah saya conteng. Okay, sorry, let me complete this first. Okay, so if I combine these two together, I'll get x minus 1 over x divided by x plus 1 over x. So if I do this, I get x minus 1 over x times x over x plus 1. Okay, then you get, am I doing this rightly? I feel like I have gotten this wrong. Lana, B. Am I answering the right question? G2, right? G3 or G4? Is it G3 or G4? The question, sorry. Because I kind of wrote over the question. Oh, it's G3. Oh, okay, interesting. But okay lah. So if I do this, it's so terrible. I'll get x minus 1 over x plus 1. Okay, and that's G3. Okay, G37. So terrible. So G37, okay, x is actually a whole lot of G3s lah. G3, G3, G3. 12 times actually. Oh, and G. Okay, G3, 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 G3 for 12 times. And every G3, actually you get the same thing. Okay, and you will finally end up with, sorry, G37 kan, actually the final answer is this tau. Is this 1 plus x, 1 minus x. Okay, is 1 plus x, 1 minus x. Tapi kan, okay, but this is the thing lah. In the marking scheme, they are asking for G4, Oh, alamak, what is this? Okay, they are asking for G4 and not G3. So which is why I'm looking at the marking scheme, I'm like, hey, kenapa dia orang pakai G4? Okay, they should, it makes sense to use G4 because G3, if you use G3 guy, it's very teruk lah, very, very teruk. Okay, yeah, so please change this question. Sorry, you cannot use G3 because G3 is like doesn't make sense. Okay, use G4. So G2, G4, then G37. Okay, you will find that G2 is this answer lah, which I gave just now, which I don't know where it is. G2 is actually negative 1 over x, okay, as I said before. Negative 1 over x, correct, yeah. Okay, then after that, G4 is actually x. Okay, and therefore G37 is this answer, 1 plus x, 1 minus x. I don't know why my screen keeps hilang, balik-balik menghilang begitu. Okay, so yeah. All right. Okay, I think that's about it for today. Thanks everyone for coming. And okay, I'm going to stop the recording now. Okay, thanks.